Kia ora, welcome to inspirationaltv.net. I'm sharing my coffee this morning at Macaulay House in Dunedin, and I've got two very inspirational Sisters of Mercy here. As I don't have a camera operator, I'm behind the camera, so they're going to talk to one another. Hello, welcome Mary Pat and welcome Claire.
It's lovely to be here, Claire. It's something special that we got the opportunity to talk about our life, because we know we've been chosen specially, and people wonder why did we come to the convent and how could we do it, and so it's lovely to be able to say how happy we've been and to explain something to the people.
It's true, and I was thinking about why I did come to the convent and become a nun. And the only reason I've ever had was because I wanted to give my life to God. From my childhood, I had a great appreciation of the rituals and devotions of the Catholic Church. And when I thought about what I would do with my life, my conviction was that the very best thing I could do was to devote my life to God.
That's very good. That's similar to what I would have to say. From a little girl, I came from a family with a mixed marriage, but there was just this Catholic atmosphere that inspired me to be proud to be a Catholic. It wasn't always easy because we weren't supposed to be mixed up with non-Catholics as things are today. But I remember when I came to a Catholic school, when I was about 10, I was inspired by the Sisters of Mercy. I thought they were just wonderful. They just had an effect on me that I thought, oh, I'd like to be one of those sisters. And I felt that I did my best at school and my music, and I thought, well, I could help them out. And I'd like to be a teacher, but I wouldn't like to be in a non-Catholic school. I'd like to be a teacher as a nun. So I started praying about it, and every now and again I'd have a little chat to one of the sisters, and that's how that seed grew. But that's where I think it came from, my background with my Catholic side of the family and from the sisters.
Most of my religious life had been spent teaching 5- and 6-year-olds mostly in small country towns like Riverton and Renfurley, or perhaps in a larger place like Gore and Alexandra. And I always loved teaching those little children. I always loved the sensation of seeing them beginning to read and print and do their sums. And I got great satisfaction out of teaching those little children. And then I'd prepare them for their first communion too, which was very special.
That's a special thing to be able to do, to relate to young children, little ones. And they always seem to remember their infant teachers. Well, before I entered the convent, I went to university for a year, and then I worked for 2.5 years in a government position, and all that time I also studied music. First week in the convent as a postulant, I was sent down to look after an infant class of about 40 children, and I just loved it. But then mostly my ministry was in secondary, teaching the secondary girls. In fact, I'd say I had nearly 30 years at secondary school and a few years at primary, and a little time teaching music. But I really loved my vocation very much because I loved with the girls. I thank God for giving me the grace to be able to do it and to be able to use the gifts that He gave me for Him.
Well, I feel that way too, Mary Pat. A great sense of gratitude that I was able to spend my life doing that, and that it was and your life had such meaning because you were doing it for God, and you felt that you were teaching these little children the very best way that they could live. And I feel a deep sense of gratitude for being able to do that too.
There have been many highlights in my life, many things to be especially grateful to God, and a lot of them were surprises. Sometimes there'd be lots of surprises, some days there'd be setbacks, but one real highlight happened just a few years ago when I was finished teaching school, when an ex-pupil from Australia rang up and she said, "Sister, we're so great, I'm so grateful in particular to what the Sisters of Mercy did for me from primary school right through to secondary, and I would like to shout you and another sister for a trip overseas. Would you be able to come?" And it was to be to a pilgrimage to Medjugorje, then to Rome. And it was just a wonderful experience that has really changed my attitude in many ways. I thought it was just great. Although I enjoyed very much my many years at school, I have to say that I'm very happy now in my years of what they call semi-retirement. I'm very grateful to the community for the opportunity and the facilities they have given to me to be able now to make use of my musical abilities to help in the parish, and also to be able to visit many people who are housebound, and especially to go to the Ross Home Hospital practically every day, especially to be with one of our sisters who has Alzheimer's, and it's just wonderful to be able to go there.